now, the final constructive speaker for the proposition team, Yaro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we think that we've been thinking about ourselves too long. We think that it is time for the developed world to look at the poor countries, that they got to their situation and help them. No matter what the practical implications will be, there is a moral duty, and that is what this debate is about. It is about the values and principles that these countries have to take into consideration, no matter what the practical implication is. Because if we have a moral duty that is conceded out of our moral responsibility that we did during colonial times, and because of present injustices, and also because of equality, we simply do not think that the practicalities should stand. But even though the Singapore tries to deal with them so much, we would like to deliver a rebuttal on them as well. But what I will do in my speech is that I will deal with 4 main points. First of all, I would like to talk whether there is an inherent duty of these countries to take responsibility and open their borders. Secondly, whether there is a direct responsibility that is conceded out of our steps towards these countries. Thirdly, I would like to talk about which way is better and which will actually help these countries. No, thank you, sir. And lastly, I would like to talk about the impact on the immigrants themselves. Well, first of all, is there any inherent duty for the developed world to take these people into their countries? Well, ladies and gentlemen, from our first and second speech, we told you that because it is so unfair that these people are born in countries where they die of hunger, they do not have anything to eat, they do not have water. No, thank you, sir. There is no actually space for any human development. It is very unfair to let them in this vicious cycle of poverty and actually bad life. And because we have a chance to help these people, we should do it. We should do it because we believe that we are people on global level. We are not people, no thank you sir, we are not people on the state level. We are all human and equal on the global level, and therefore we should help these people. Well, secondly, we simply think that even though this might harm the sovereignty of a country, which is, we believe, is primarily responsible for their own citizens, no, thank you, sir. We believe that there are situations when we simply take this sovereignty away. We think that it is the direct exploitation that we cause to these countries and all of the steps that we took towards them. And it is actually the colonial times and also the present injustices that we cause to these countries. We think that because we came many years ago to these countries and actually exploited their raw resources, like for example in Haiti, less than 10% of their land is actually arable because USA exploited the country and made extensive farming there, and therefore the country is not sustainable on itself. Secondly, because we actually came there and focused their economy on one direction of cash crop, the country was simply not able to compete in the international trade and markets, and therefore the country is left in poverty. And we believe that for all these reasons, we actually harm these countries so that we halted their development, so that they are not competitive enough, so that they can compete with the other countries. Yes, sir.
So your idea is that if the Haitians all came to America, got their education, became degree holders and went back, and they didn't even go and build up these primary industries, Haiti would improve? We don't get it.
Well, sir, we do not have a problem with that because we are humans. And we believe that this is the important point in this debate. We believe that we simply should allow these people to get this education because simply they don't have the opportunity to get it home. And finally, we're talking about the present injustices that are even more important. Because even today, we realize all of the principles that are important for these people. We realize the importance of equality and decent life. We still go to these countries and invest in them and actually halt their development because we only exploit the raw resources and we do not allow their economy to flourish. No, thank you, sir. As it was in the example of Ivory Coast, when we actually do take all of the raw resources, but on the other hand, we do not allow the country to proceed in their production so that they could benefit even more. More importantly, in many cases, the investment that the team of opposition is proposing, no thank you, sir, is actually harming these countries because these countries who do not have the legislation, which do not actually can control what these corporations are doing in these countries, cannot actually control how these people are exploited. Therefore, people in the gold mines are receiving $2 or $1, no thank you, sir, a month for their hard jobs that they get. And people in Europe and America are selling these gold, the gold for thousands and thousands of dollars. We believe that this is unjust, and therefore we have a moral duty to help these countries because we are exploiting them, we exploited them, and therefore we have a moral duty to do so. No, thank you, sir. And now, we've been talking about what way is actually better for these people. Is it the direct investment to these countries, the build of infrastructure, or it is the money sent back by the immigrants themselves to these countries? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that it is more just and more fair for these people to go to these countries, these people who strive and struggle to get better life, so that they can earn the money themselves. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what the team of opposition is saying that these people won't integrate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are the people who are crossing Sahara for a few weeks so that they can get a better life. No, thank you, sir. Those are the people who die along the way to the developed countries, who are striving to get better life. And if they say that they are not willing to integrate, that they are actually pretty wrong in their logic, because these people are actually willing to take the steps as it was in the case of the Mexicans in the United States, no thank you sir, where these people, even though the first generation might struggle to integrate, the next generation were actually better off, and they actually learn the language, they are willing to integrate, they attend the schools, they are integrated to the community. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and more important, it is the fact that these people send the money back, no thank you sir, send the money back to these home countries that they come from. And it is important because this money goes to the hand of people who live in these countries. And therefore, they allow these people to get the human development that is important. Because suddenly these people do not have to, no thank you sir, do not have to take care of all the basic needs that they have because they have them covered with some money. Well, team of opposition told us that this will not happen in our model because we are actually allowing all of the families to go there and all of the families will go to these countries. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we simply do not think that this will happen because there are still some cultural and historical bounds that actually these people feel, and therefore many people will remain in their home countries, and therefore the productive labor force will travel mostly, and therefore these people who are actually able to work and actually will integrate to the market force in these countries, they will go to these countries and therefore help them home. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do not think, no thank you sir, that the investment that actually the team of opposition is proposing is right. It is important to realize that that's the case when you make these countries dependent on somebody. Because you make them dependent on somebody who comes and gives them something. On the other hand, we are saying that these people should go themselves to these countries and help themselves. They should go there, they should work and send the money back so that they are motivated to do so. They are motivated to help their own countries, to help their families back home. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we've told you is that these immigrants will be better off. They will be better off because they are willing to integrate. They are willing to integrate because they strive to get to these countries. Secondly, we believe that they will help their home countries. And thirdly, we believe that they will not be worse off if they stayed home. Because this is very important. The poverty in France is very different to the one in Ghana. Because if you're living in Ghana, you are actually striving to survive. If you're living in France and you're in ghetto, maybe you do not have all of the benefits that these countries have, the people in this country have, but you are still having the basic needs covered and you can actually think about your human development. And more importantly, even if it creates a fiscal burden for these countries, we believe that $100 annually for an American is a little amount of money. But for a people from Ghana or Mexico, it is a life that they deserve and a decent life that will make them survive. For all these reasons, we beg you to propose.